Hi, this is Kyle Postlethwaite, aka Malcare from Big Kitty Games. It's July 2nd, 2017, and in this video we're going to look deeper into how the unique crafting system in Solace Crafting works. I started game development years ago, specifically to try and improve crafting in games, because I love making my own stuff. I've come up with a system very different to traditional RPG crafting, so let's get into it. Opening the crafting window. First we've got professions and categories. I can select multiple professions, multiple categories. I can select them all at once, or none at all. We're going to look at swords, so I'm going to do smithing and slashing weapons. Now, the first of several big changes to this system is that equipment recipes in Solace Crafting are not predetermined. We can make them work for any kind of character at any level. So if I select the short sword recipe here, we can start to customize it. We can see here the short sword belongs to the smithing profession and the slashing weapons category, which both have different upgrades I can power up to make all recipes that are part of them stronger. So basically I'll get better at all swords instead of just one recipe. Next to the profession we can see here that I've spent 15 metal out of the 50 I need to spend to level up. There's no arbitrary crafting experience, and this number doesn't get bigger every level. If I use 50 metal, I level up, plain and simple. So onto my short sword. First I can choose what level short sword I'm going to create. As I change the level, you can see the stats of the sword preview changing. I'm a level 12 smith, we can see here, so I can only go up to level 12. But I'm actually a level 11 character, so I'm going to make this level 11 sword so I can use it right away. Tier, we can select freely. This is the resource of metal, in this case, because we're making swords, that we will need to use. Tiers show up about every 5 levels. In Solace Crafting, difficulty is tied to our distance from the start. So the further we travel, the more difficult everything becomes, and the higher tier of the resources we will start running into. I happen to have tier 2 metal on me, so I'm going to use that, and you can see that has a greater impact on the stats than level does. It does, however, not increase the requirements. In other words, a level 1 sword could be tier 5 metal, and a level 1 player would still be able to use that. So that's a great way to make equipment for alternate characters. Next, we can adjust the rarity freely. Increasing the rarity of an item requires a blessing. Blessings are rewarded for defeating champion monsters, hero monsters, finding secret areas, unlocking achievements, and so on. They can be applied to any level item and have the greatest impact on the base stats of an item. They also grant enchanting slots, which are required to enchant our items later. But even at the lowest common, we still get 1 enchant slot. I'm going to make my short sword uncommon because I do have a Blessing of Light. So you can see how this system sidesteps predetermined recipes and lets us kind of create any kind of weapon we want with whatever we've got. I picked short sword, but this works for all recipes. All of these numbers are totally uncapped too, so if you're super amazing, it's possible to craft level 60 or even level 100 equipment, theoretically anyway. Now I have to explain something here, which is the next big change from conventional crafting systems. And it might sound like a horrible idea at first, but let me explain why it's important that all weapons and armor use the exact same math, meaning all one-handed weapons do the same base damage. Traditionally in games, say a short sword is a level 1 item, and it does level 3 damage. Then say a war axe is a level 2 item, and does 5 damage. That means that once you're level 2, you're expected to use the war axe. Even if you prefer short swords or clubs or daggers, you're more or less forced into using the newer, better item. In Solace Crafting, any recipe can be made any level. That way both a short sword and a war axe can be level 1 and level 2 and whatever. Some weapons are faster or slower, but the base damage per second is the same all across the board. Two-handed weapons are different, of course. Heavy armor is different than light armor, yes. But within their general categories, there's no predetermined best or better choice, letting you choose what to do for whatever level you are, whatever kind of character you're making. I happen to like swords, which is why I'm talking about short swords, but that's just me. So let's move on to enchanting. We'll add my short sword to my enchanting table. And here we can choose the enchanting categories. I'm a level 6 enchanter. And we always start out with these 6 basic enchants, which are the attribute category. So if I select strength here, once again we can start customizing the recipe, the enchant recipe this time. I can up the level, I can change the tier of resources, and I can make it more rare. I'm going to go level 6. I don't have any higher tier resources, and at this point, say between level 0 and level 50, using only the short sword recipe and the strength enchant recipe, believe it or not, we've already got over 3 million possible combinations with just these 2 recipes. I should point out here too that enchants do not share the same math like equipment recipes. Some enchants are much stronger than others, especially multi-slot enchants and set enchants. Set enchants allow us to design our own item sets. For example, the Squire set enchant is automatically rewarded to any player that spends at least 40 skill points in the Squire tree, which I did. As we can see here, it can only be applied to hand armor, feet armor, and main hand weapons, meaning I can apply it to a club, a dagger, could be cloth shoes, leather boots, metal gauntlets, all kinds of stuff, depending on who I am and what I'm using. My short sword is indeed falls under the main hand weapon category. It's actually a one-handed weapon, meaning I could use it on either hand, but this will turn it into a main hand only weapon. So this is a great enchant for me to use. The Squire set enchant, however, has a minimum rarity of uncommon. So I can't go any lower than this. I could up it if I had stronger blessings. And if my short sword was common, I'd only have 1 slot free, so this wouldn't fit on here. I'll put it up to level 6 again because I'm level 6. And voila, I have an enchanted short sword to help me fight evil with. You can see here I put a level 6 Squire set enchant on it, which is giving me strength, increased my maximum energy. And this is showing that I currently have 2 equipped. So if I had this equipped, it would be giving me this bonus. I actually have gloves and boots that are already enchanted with the Squire set. So if I put this on, we'll see that I get all the way up to the 3 bonus. Now I'm getting agility, physical skill, and defense skill. So this is level 6. I'm getting 0.98 defense skill, whereas my boots, they actually are a level 3 Squire enchant. So I'm only getting 0.53 defense skill bonus. You know, this is a set bonus because I'm wearing all 3. But these bonuses are per item. This isn't a global one-shot. They're different for each individual enchant. And these and other systems within Solace Crafting are really just designed to shift crafting from a preset path to a system of player preference, allowing a much more personal and unique character. There's still a lot on the drawing board though, so stick with us, and by all means, share your ideas and opinions. Next up in this video series, we'll be looking at combat, leveling, and skill trees. Thanks for watching.